enter a realm unlike your own, filled with beauty and splendor, with magic and mystery, with evil and danger, with secrets and glory. Welcome to the world of hazards and hijinks.
The cool adventurers!
Despite my really calm, serene exterior, I'm a very angry person.
If the cool leather boot fits, I'll wear it.
I'm a cat person! You can't judge me!
I'm a wizard who drinks paint! We are who we are!
You will know what it is to feel pain.
Hey guys, we just were upstairs in the gas chamber.
Movement detected! Destroy intruder! Destroy intruder!
Sorry, I was living up to my own hype!
I feel younger than ever.
Huzzah!
Hazards and Hijinks, D&D Improv, every Friday night on YouTube and Twitch.
Fancy Hobo Improv proudly presents It's the Bindle Variety Show, featuring art, music, and improv. Tonight, experience the artistic talents of interdisciplinary performer Bailey Small. Music from Asia Simone. Theater artist Karissa Murrell Myers. With long-form improv from Matt Thomas, Brenan Dwyer, Brandon Burns, and Gabi Galloway. And your host, Tony Torrico! Now, throw those bindles over your shoulder and enjoy the show!
Welcome, one and all, to the Bindle Variety Show, featuring art, music, and improv. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's program, wherever you are. I am your illustrious host. My name is Tony Torrico. Again, thank you for tuning into tonight's show. And if you've never tuned into tonight's show, here is how tonight's show is going to go. We're doing a variety show, so we've invited some special guest artists to join the program today, sit down with me, and discuss their work. We also get to take a little look into some of their work, talk about their process, and then afterwards, after our special guests have all been interviewed, our group of improv performers will come out and we will do a long-form improv set inspired by everything we saw tonight. It's a very, very special night. And again, thank you for tuning in to tonight's program. Now, before we get things started, just going over a couple of other things. Thank you for continually supporting Fancy Hobo, those who have continually supported Fancy Hobo. If you would like to support Fancy Hobo, you can absolutely do so. And there's a couple of ways that you can do that. You can like this video. You can subscribe to our channel. That's some of the best way to support us. And you can even make donations. That's right. Since we are not performing in the theater currently, and I don't even really remember what the inside of a theater looks like, we do rely on the generous donations of our viewers to keep our shows going. So if you'd like to donate to Fancy Hobo Improv, it's very, very easy. You just head to Venmo and Venmo at Fancy Hobo Improv. It is right down here on the corner of your screen. And we want to thank you for any of those donations that come our way tonight. We'll give you a little shout out in tonight's show. And thank those who donated, who have consistently donated to all of our shows. You are all the reason that we keep doing shows. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't. Am I going to do one more thank you? We'll see. We'll see. Wow. Whoa. No, thank you. I'm really excited about tonight's show. We've got some really awesome guests in store for you. But before we get started, I'm going to introduce you to our improvisers for the evening. So please welcome to the virtual stage, Brandon Burns, Matt Thomas, Gabi Galloway, and Brenan Dwyer. Woo! Hello, 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 all. How are you all doing this evening?
Great.
That's
Good.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, I didn't just bring you out here for no reason, because in every Bindle show, we have a theme. That's right. And it was voted on. You out there on our audience who are on our Instagram, you voted between two themes. And tonight's theme that you chose is mythology. Ooh, mythos, exciting stuff. I would first like to hear from our players in your role as perhaps an improviser or any other sort of artistry that you have. What role does mythology play in your work or your process? Start with Brandon.
I think history plays a lot into my work, whether it's kind of the mythology aspect of what has occurred or the continued correction and adjustments to the present based on what's happened. It's kind of always ever present in the stuff I do, especially like I look at like my family's mythology. That's something that's always being like corrected. There's ideas or concepts that I think I'd always lived with and grown up with that in time like is changed based on new information that I've gotten. And it's been it like creates weird adjustments, and it affects me in ways I wouldn't anticipate, but it always makes me feel a little bit richer because I understand parts of myself I wouldn't before if I didn't really look into those parts of me.
You heard it here, folks. He's rich.
That's not now.
Great.
Stop it.
No, let's go to another player. How about Brennan?
Who?
Brennan, you.
Oh.
He came to me twice. He said Brandon twice.
I heard you say Cliff, and I was like, who is
Whoa.
Cliff?
Cliff, unfortunately, couldn't make it tonight, so we'll have to go to you, Brennan.
Okay, well, I'm the substitute for Cliff.
We are killing it. Look at us go.
Do you really want to hear my take on mythology? I feel like
I want to even more now.
Okay. In all seriousness, actually, mythology plays a really large part in my artistic practice. I'm a huge fan of Joseph Campbell, the late great mythology researcher, writer, lecturer, etc. And he's just been a huge inspiration to me in my life. And one of the things that researching both Joseph Campbell and the myths that he talks about has done for me is given me a lot of freedom in my artistic practice, because I'm able to tap into universal stories, archetypes that create a sort of framework for what I'm doing that gives me a natural boundary, either for a character or for an arc or a scene or whatever it is. And then within that, I'm like, oh, okay, here's my playground. Within that playground, I get to go crazy. And that, when I can really tap into that and like stay within that playground and then just bounce off the walls, that's where I'm flying when I'm on stage. So researching and then working on inhabiting these different aspects of mythology has been a big thing for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's all from Cliff.
That's all from Cliff. Thanks, Cliff. Let's toss it over to Matt.
I would say mythology is kind of like a big part of like me becoming more of an artistic individual. I was really into a lot of mythology when I was younger. I was really into Greek mythology, and I think my first experience with like Disneyfication was because of that. I was like, oh, they're just gonna make Zeus like a loving husband. Okay, cool. That's weird. Not just a complete man slut. All right, cool. So But yeah, so I got a lot into that, and that kind of got me into a lot of different things. But one thing that's interesting is like when you look into a culture's like mythology, it tells you a lot about what that culture valued and what was important to them.
Yeah.
And so like when you see how in like Greek mythology, like not even the gods are perfect. You know, like Egyptian mythology gets a lot into death. Norse mythology about like fighting and war, and like they expect that they're all going to lose eventually, but they're just going to go out in a blaze of glory, and that's kind of like what that culture goes around. So I think kind of like watching a story, kind of piggybacking off Brennan's a little, watching a story and kind of being like, oh, that's the theme of this. That's what this is really about. Like this is what they're working on when they tell these stories. And noticing that and being able to jump into that, if you were going to do a scene or something like that, a performance opportunity to be like, oh, I get what this is generally about. I get what what they're trying to put out there, and then you can easily jump in and do whatever you want to fit in that theme.
Nice. Well put. Gabi?
Yeah, I love what everybody's saying. I took in a lot of what Matt said because it kind of touches on like a lot that I've been thinking about recently. And I think mythos and mythology is something that's been coming to my mind a lot recently. An issue I have is sometimes I see the world a little bit too much in black and white. And so I'm like, that's good, that's bad. And mythology is like a really great place to tap in and be like Matt said, not even the gods were perfect, and that there are nuances in life, and that we are all have our bad parts of ourselves. We all have our good parts of ourselves. And it was something that I've liked to explore a lot in my childhood as well. It was just like one of those themes that I was really interested in from forever. And I love exploring in art is like what makes something wrong, like why is it okay to do some things and why is it not okay to do other things? So that's a really interesting thing to explore, and yeah, it's awesome.
That's amazing. And the chat was very quick to point out that Rocky is an American myth. There you go. That comes directly from Cliff, everybody. Thank you all for your input. We will see you a little bit later in tonight's show. We'll say goodbye, improvisers. Everybody say goodbye, improvisers. And we will get to tonight's guests. Our first guest is, I'm very, very excited to have on this show. Please welcome to the Bindle theater artist, Karissa Murrell Myers.
Hello.
Hello. It is lovely to meet you. You're actually the first guest on the Bindle that I don't personally know. So this is really exciting. I'm really very, very excited for this. Why don't you tell everyone who's watching tonight's show a little bit about you and your work?
Great. So my name is Karissa. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a multidisciplinary theater artist based out of Chicago. I'm originally from Boise, Idaho. I did my bachelor's out there in theater, and then I went to the University of Hawaii at Manoa in Honolulu for my master's in performance. And then I moved to Chicago about six-ish. I'm sorry, with the pandemic, time has eluded me. 6-ish years to Chicago. Right. To Chicago. And I work here professionally as a casting director, a playwright, actor, director, and theater producer.
That's awesome. Excellent. So now you work for a couple of different theater companies. What you want to go through?
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of the executive producers for a company called Our Perspective Asian American Plays, which is an organization that provides resources for Asian American playwrights to have their works developed. We do readings at multiple places around in professional theaters here in Chicago. So it provides opportunities for the playwrights to have their work, read out loud, and also provide opportunities for Asian American directors and actors to work together. That's an organization that I've been involved with since 2018, and it's great. I mean, I think that Asian American representation is something that's very high on my agenda as a theater artist, being of Filipino American descent. And yeah, I love working with them. And then I am the casting director for Straw Dog Theater Company here in Chicago. We are currently in our 33rd season, so we've been around about as long as I've been alive. And I've been working there for about a couple years. And you know, we're a small non-union theater company, storefront theater. I don't know if you're familiar with the storefront theater scene here in Chicago, but it's quite robust. And Straw Dog has been a big major player on that scene for a number of years now. And we recently did a show that I'm really excited to share with everyone this evening. It's a show that I was commissioned to write. It's called How Do We Navigate Space? And it is about the struggles and challenges and some joys that people have been able to find during the pandemic here in Chicago. So I'm excited to kind of share a little bit more about that later on tonight.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we, because I'm really piqued by this topic of representation, particularly in theater. I myself have been a theater performer for a very long time. And there's a lot of conversations that are happening right now around theater and what it looks like to have representation. So I'm excited to have that conversation, but perhaps should we take a look at a clip first?
I would love that.
Okay, amazing. So let me get this all set up. Anything else you would like to mention before we take a look at this?
No, we can talk about it afterwards.
Ooh, excellent. All right, let's take a look.
I reached out to you through a window, but couldn't reach far enough. I can't look anymore. But I can't look away. I'm trying to find the right thing to say. Something to say, anything to keep you here longer. I thought I had the strength to do it, but I hoped I didn't have to. Anytime I needed you, anytime I thought I couldn't do it, anytime my courage would fail, you picked me up, 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 up. And I hoped it wouldn't have to be true. This can't be true. If time could just slow down. Please. Don't leave me in the eerie silence alone. Not yet. Just not yet. Wait. 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 Wait, 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 wait! Time doesn't stop. Won't slow down, and I can't reach far enough. I can't tear my eyes away. As my world dies on the vine, shriveled and pale. And I'm alone. Reaching into nothing. It's so large. No one could ever touch the edges.
Every day,
Oh. Well, there we go. Okay, let me do this. Let me change my video. Amazing piece. It's so interesting. My goodness, I loved, especially when we talk about like, oh, how do we navigate space, right? And like the our everyday spaces of like just the tension that was built on a crosswalk was like really an interesting exploration of that like kind of relationship we have that everyday space.
Yeah, yeah. So how the piece came about was I was commissioned to write this piece. And so I sent out a survey. Well, it wasn't just me, a number of us that were involved in the project sent out a survey to a large number of people that live here in Chicago. And it had a number of questions that asked people, you know, how do you find yourself navigating physical spaces now that we're kind of like living in this pandemic? And we sent it in November of last year. And, you know, asking people like, how are you navigating space right now versus how are you navigating space at the beginning of the pandemic when we weren't really sure what was going on or even how the virus was spread. And then also talking about digital spaces, like how do you find yourself kind of navigating in this world where the majority of our interaction with other people is coming through, you know, through our phones or through Zoom. And so based out of those answers, I wrote this piece. And what I did was I printed off every answer that I got for the survey and I plastered them all over my house. And I looked for threads. I tried to find things that, you know, a lot of people were kind of a universally experiencing. And through that process, I mean, I had like Post-it notes and highlighter and like string like a crazy person, like figuring out like a crazy conspiracy. And I wrote the piece based on that. And one of the things that I found while looking at people's answers was just how much fear there was. There was so much fear. There was so much grieving. People were grieving for, you know, family members that they had lost, for their jobs, for their industry. You know, as a theater artist, you know, our industry basically got completely shut down, and it hasn't come back anywhere near to the level that we would like it to, and probably won't for a few more months at the very least. And yeah, so I really focused on kind of creating this this nonlinear structure that dealt with talking about the different stages of grief. And so the piece that we saw, the two pieces that we saw, so 6 Feet Apart and then The Pit. The Pit was the piece that really centered on what is it like to lose someone very close to you. And specifically thinking about, you know, people had described their experiences like losing a family member that they couldn't physically reach because they had to be through FaceTime, and the kind of the just how hard and terrible that feeling is when you're helpless and you can't help them.
And I think the piece is like, I mean, that those emotions are incredibly relatable to everybody going through this time period right now. I mean, I know that like how we it's such an interesting topic because it's like how we like every way we interact with spaces now has completely changed. The way I go to the grocery store, the way I like go to take out the trash in an apartment complex, right? All of that has like violently changed, and it's such a visceral reaction with everyone now that I think that something like this is really, really interesting. Really good. I love it. Speaking of navigating spaces, and we have already kind of briefly touched on representation in theater. I, as a theater performer, have a tough time in coming to terms with a lot of different theater spaces because they're currently traditionally white spaces. And how do, Black, Indigenous people of color navigate those spaces? And I'm interested in hearing about, your work and how you go about doing that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I became a casting director primarily because I felt like when I would go to the theater, I did not see myself represented, and I did not see, the faces of Chicago, the people that I, would walk around with in real life, not represented on the stage. And so, I was like, what can I personally do about that? And as an actor, there's only so much you can do, right? Because like if you're a BIPOC individual and you get cast in a show, there's a political statement that kind of gets made with just having your body on the stage. Yeah. But as an actor, you don't have so much control over, how often are you given these jobs. And so I thought, I'm going to get on the other side of the table and see what I can do to kind of try to push more BIPOC and other kinds of diversity on our stages. Because I work primarily, like I said, at Straw Dog, but I also have done like casting consulting, or I'll get hired to do a one-off show for a company here and there. I've done consulting for companies all over the US, and I'm constantly challenging these preconceived ideas of what type of people can play certain kinds of roles. Like for example, I've been trying to push, trying to have a larger sized person play Hamlet. I have never seen an actor who is of a larger size play Hamlet before. It's just not something that, could you think of Hamlet and you think of some skinny white dude who's like got like maybe, swoopy hair and he's a little brooding looking, right? Like that's kind of the traditional look when we think of Hamlet. And, and I want to challenge those preconceived ideas that we have in our heads that have been ingrained in us, the images that we've grown up with and people have pushed upon us. Like, let's challenge that. And so when I'm casting a role, I'll bring in people that the director, because they've told me like this is the demographic that they're looking for, and then I'll just bring some extra folks just to give them a little something different. And it is amazing that a lot of the time you bring in different folks than what the director had this idea of who they wanted, and they change their mind. And I love being able to facilitate that and to advocate for those actors to the director.
That's incredible, and that's incredibly important work too. So thank you for doing that work. Then, like, on behalf of BIPOC, thank you. We need more people like you doing that work, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to, so in relation to tonight's theme, we talked a little bit already about mythology from people. What role does, I guess, mythology have in your practice or any work that you do?
Yeah, well, I think the very basic tenets of mythology, is this oral storytelling. The history of how mythology was passed down to people was through storytellers. And I think that as theater artists, that is the basic thing that we do. It is I like to say, the second oldest profession of the role of the storyteller in society, right? And the reason that these stories got passed down was to pass down the set of standard of living, right? These like a set of mores or morals or expectations of how to behave. And that's why these stories were passed along. And I just think that, being a storyteller is a calling. I have felt called to do this ever since I was little. And and then thinking about just the word mythology. I loved reading books about Norse mythology, Greek mythology when I was growing up. One of my favorite books is actually American Gods by Neil Gaiman, which deals very much in like the mythology and of of different gods throughout like other cultures and other histories. And I think mythology is very important. I actually also have a goddess tarot card set that I personally use, and it speaks to me, and so that's something that I keep in my arsenal. And I'm actually currently in talks with a really wonderful theater artist based out of Seattle. We've been talking about developing a new show based on these tarot cards, and like, can we create a show that has that as inspiration? So been thinking about that quite a lot recently. So I'm kind of excited to see where this new project could go.
That sounds very exciting. Karissa, thank you for coming to the program. Now, if our audience wants to view more of your work, or where else could they find more of that?
Yeah, so I think probably the easiest way would probably go to my website, which is kmurrellmyers.com. And I have links to all of my socials on there. I mean, you can probably find me on Facebook or Instagram. You could Google me. I don't know. You'll see my weird IMDb pro page or whatever if you do that. So
awesome. And for those of you out there that are watching, we have those links down below in the details of this video. So if you want more from Karissa, please head there. Karissa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
It has been a pleasure. Everyone out there, I guess in the chat, give some love to Karissa Murrell Myers.
Thank you.
All right, that was amazing. Let's move on to our next guest of the night, a good personal friend of mine, and I am excited to have them on the show. Please welcome to the Bindle interdisciplinary performer Bailey Small.
Hi.
Hello, Bailey. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Tony?
I am good. It is nice to see you. I mean, we have a class together, so I see you every once in a while.
Oh,
but I'm excited to have you here. I know about you, and I have gotten a little preview of what you're going to be sharing tonight. But for those of us at home who might not know your work, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your work?
Sure. I'm an interdisciplinary performer and object fabricator. A lot of my practice is multimedia. It's all over the place, but it kind of becomes a conglomeration of theater, improv, craft, film, sociology, religion, mythology, all of these things. A lot of my practice is sculptural. I'm making objects a lot of the time, but I call them performance objects because they have to be kind of like enacted by me or other people or brought to life by film or performance.
Amazing. I remember this was pre-pandemic. You created a bunch of small little sculptures and gave like invitations to people to go out and get them. And I have one. It's out on my balcony. And that's my tiny little Bailey artwork that I have here.
Yeah, love the gift economy.
Yeah, we love it. It's probably better than our regular economy. Great. So we're going to share a couple of things here today. Some of your work. We've got 2 clips. Why don't we set up the first one? Do you want to talk a little bit about the first one?
Yeah, sure. This was for actually my mid-res at Cal Arts. I'm currently in my 3rd year of my undergrad at Cal Arts in the art program. And this was a video project, which I can talk maybe a little, it'll probably make more sense afterwards, but it's a pataphysical work of basically, instead of a single artist, I've been identifying as a group. And this group kind of puts out these publications that are like usually like archaic, outdated forms of technology. Like they'll send out packages of gifts along with paper booklets and VHS tapes. And this is like part of the tape that they send out, but it's just a clip of the full thing. The full thing's like 15 minutes.
Nice. Well, let's take a look, shall we? Let's do it. Let me set this up. And
sandwiches all the time. So I say, Max, how do you like that sandwich you eat? He says, that's okay. It's not bad. It's a sandwich. And what do you want? Well, maybe I'm crazy.
So let's chat about this. My goodness. I love the soundscape he's got going on throughout this thing. It's fantastic. And what is the like the group called again? The entity that's like sending this out?
Wow. The Society for Anarcho Unification. Wait.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I always appreciate anarcho unification. But no, I thought something I really love about this is that like there's like a that like you get like a splash of humor every like once in a while. I think Stone Pot with Mountain and maybe other things inside is like so good. Amazing. Yeah. Do we want to maybe touch on it a little bit more or go into the next one? What are you thinking?
Yeah, sure. I just was reminded of a few things while I was watching that. And yeah, like you said, humor is really important to my practice. And I think that's where like my interest in improv comes from. And then also like I try to practice other avant-garde theater practices like Grotowski, and Fluxus, the performance movement. A lot of what was important in their dogma was like use of humor, and I think humor is just a really important like philosophical practice that I wish I saw more often.
I completely agree, and I think it's very present in your second piece that you're going to show us. I am so excited for this one.
Oh yeah.
Shall we take a look? Do you wanna preface it with anything, or do we just want to go right into it?
No, full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead. Let's do it. All right. Give me 1 second.
This is now the 6th year. The greatest feeling you can get in a gym, or the most satisfying feeling you can get in the gym, is the pump. Let's say you train your biceps. Blood is rushing into your muscles, and that's what we call the pump. Your muscles get a really tight feeling, like your skin is going to explode any minute. It's really tight. It's like somebody blowing air into your muscle. It just blows up, and it feels different. It feels fantastic.
Dang,
Yeah,
Nabbit.
okay.
It's
I need to say
tough.
the whole. Will you just start it from the second?
Pump it up, pump it high. Pump it up, it really feels like flying. Coming up, just like a lion. Pump it up, pump it high. Work it out now. Pump it up now.
Well, I've not been beaten for the last 7 years, and I won the Mr. Olympia contest 5 years now. This is now the 6th year. The greatest feeling you can get in a gym, or the most satisfying feeling you can get in the gym, is the pump. Let's say you train your biceps. Blood is rushing into your muscles, and that's what we call the pump. Your muscles get a really tight feeling, like your skin is going to explode any minute. It's really tight. It's like somebody blowing air into your muscle. It just blows up, and it feels different. It feels fantastic.
This is fantastic. This is incredible. It's just a beautiful expression of character. You like at the end of it, you start to have like this I'm like hitting uncanny valley, right? I'm like, whoa, is this like it's so well matched up with the audio. Tell me about the piece.
Yeah, well, I really wanted to make buff arms, and so I did. But like I said earlier, like object fabrication isn't where it ends. I just really like to make stuff. I really like to be hands-on, and I love craft so much. But I feel like everything has to be puppeted. So, I had to puppet these arms, and I also really wanted to puppet this like wildly fantastic character of masculinity that is is just the center of Pumping Iron, this Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I don't know if a lot of people have seen it, but it's fantastic. And I was like, I gotta do that. So.
That's amazing. That's incredible. Yeah, I can if you and out there watching, if you've never seen it, I definitely go watch it. It's that moment that you chose is like one of those moments that just like violently like sticks to your brain. So like I have such a strong memory of that clip, and then to see you do it is just something really special. There's something really special about it. Our chat is loving some of your work. Chat, they said with their first piece they want to touch all of the objects, and they're so interested in some of your work. I'm wondering if maybe we could bring into the about the tonight's theme about mythology. What sort of role does that take in your process and your work?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've always been really interested in world religion and mythology as just like a foundation for creative work. And I started learning about Joseph Campbell in high school, but then I quickly realized the limitations of that and how I wanted to take that and move past it for any sort of like radical undoing of history that is a mythology but is accepted as like objective truth for queer disidentification and understanding how mythologies are created and understanding how that works, and then creating our own mythologies, creating mythologies with those around us, and just undoing cultural trauma that impacts even our like interpersonal relationships and connections that create community. Sorry, that was like a word dump, but basically it's just like everything's mythology. There is no objective history, so why not just churn out as many new mythologies as we can and treat them with the same like reverence and power that we do the most culturally powerful ones.
Absolutely. I like mad respect. That is you were speaking my language. Bailey, your work as an artist has always been impressive, and every time I see you do more and more things, I just become more and more impressed. You're a joy and a delight to have around, and I need more of you around. If before we go, if our audience wants to see more of your work, where might they do that?
My Instagram, which is Matter Baby, but baby is spelled BAIBY, in reference to my name and also because BABY was taken. So Instagram, my Vimeo, which I can't remember the link of, but I think it will be in the show notes.
I believe it's Bailey's Smells.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah. We've got it linked. I've got all the things. All the things you're saying are like in a little box. They're like right here between.
Right on. Good. That's about it. I had a website. It's gone.
Tricky little websites.
They just slip away from you.
Yep. Bailey, it's incredible to have you on. Thank you for joining us. Our audience out there in the interwebs, give some love in the chat for my good friend Bailey Simone.
Thanks, Tony. It's great to be here.
Wonderful to have you. Bye. All righty, we are moving right along to our third guest of the evening, another artist that I have known for quite a few years now. And I am very excited to showcase their work on our show. Please welcome to the show, singer-songwriter Asia Simone. Whoa, there she is.
Hello.
Asia, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I am excellent. I love the vibe you got going on here. It's just just got like nothing. And I mean, kind of matching.
Exactly.
We're good. No, how so Asia, I know a lot about you, but but our audience might not know anything about you. So why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself and your work?
All right. So my name is Asia Simone. I'm a singer-songwriter. I play the ukulele. I think I've been doing that for like 7 years now. Just dropping a little spoopy music here and there over the years, you know.
And your spoopy music is fantastic.
Thank you.
We love some spoopy music.
Oh,
You've got I know you have a song to share with us today. Should we take a look at it?
yes. Let us.
Why don't you is there anything you want to say about the song before we take a look then?
Oh, sure. Okay, so this song is called You. And when I wrote it, I was very much inspired by Dream a Little Dream by the Mamas and the Papas. And also, whenever I play it or like listen to it, I very much think of Coraline, and I don't really know why. But like towards the end of the song, it makes me think of Coraline.
I can definitely hear both of those influences in the song.
Like, I don't know. I made a music video for this song. It would 100% have something to do with Coraline, even if it doesn't make sense. It's going to happen.
Amazing. We'll get some like claymation animator and
exactly.
All right, let's take a look and a listen to your song, You.
Yay.
I wonder the earth aching, my little heart was breaking. I needed someone to love. I looked to the stars above and there was you. I felt like such a fool. I spent my nights wishing, feeling like I was missing the chance to make you smile. You made life worthwhile. Stars shining up above can't compare to your love. Those lonely nights I spent, you were a gift heaven sent. I watched as the stars were falling, and I heard them calling, and there was you. I felt like such a fool. I spent my nights wishing, feeling like I was missing the chance to make you smile. You made life worthwhile. I thought love was through with me. The words felt so empty. I watched as the darkness closed in, and I thought it was the end. Then there was you. There was you.
Wow. Some incredible stuff there, Asia. Beautiful
Thank
work.
you. Thank you.
I have I thought it's just really really like just I can hear the influences that exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, on it. They're so strong that it like you get those like resonances of that other song, like it was Dream a Little Dream, right? Yeah, really just the strong resonances of it. And your voice is so beautiful on top of it. I have okay, so I have a question. In some of a lot of the photos you've taken as a singer-songwriter, you have the crying makeup.
Yes.
Could you could you talk a little bit about that?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, there have been a few times in my life where I've cried that bad, and that's how my makeup looks. But when I was thinking about the cover of this album in particular, I really just wanted to look a hot mess, because truly that's how I feel a lot of the time.
Oh.
Like a majority of the time I feel like a hot mess, and I wanted to show that, and because truly this album's really sad. But like You was maybe the only song on there that's kind of nice. So that I just needed to reflect in the album, like, she's a mess, but she's trying her best.
I mean, and it's such a different flavor of, I guess the last time that we've been around each other and we've hung out. I know you as Asia's like, yeah,
yeah, don't you go.
Oh my God. But it's just it's listening to your music and listening to the album just kind of gives me just a different perspective of you, and it's really amazing. It's really incredible stuff. I think my favorite song off of Happy Hour is Party of One.
Oh fuck yeah, finally someone said it. God,
there you go. We've been waiting for this moment.
Jeez, no one ever talks about that song, and I really like it.
I love that song. I thought it's really great.
Oh, it's so good. And I always when I first wrote it, I 100% thought of Pennywise the dancing clown and just doing a whole scene with come on, that'd be fucking cool.
You have got a lot of love in the chat for your music. I'm so excited that we got to share all of your work with people who might not have heard it before. We want to talk about tonight's theme, right?
Yes.
In mythology, I guess, what place does mythology take in your practice and work as an artist?
Child, I have no idea, honestly. I have no idea where it fits. Stop laughing.
I'm not.
I have no idea. I was listening to everyone talk. I was like, wow, everyone's so smart and wow. It's no idea where this fits in. No idea. Goodness. It's just all so sad and spoopy. You know what? Shit was sad back in the day. So history.
There you go. there you go. Well, it's I think, mythology is just talking about folklore, folk stories. And I think one of the ways that we that I see mythology being passed kind of modernly and currently is singers and songwriters. They are the bards that carry new stories that connect with people, and it's really all it is,
Truly. I very much would like to do kind of a short film with this album. There's a story there that I really want to tell. It's lots of work would need to be done, but I don't know. I really like when you can make a good solid story out of an album. I think those are great. Those are the best albums.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Truly. I've tried doing it with some of the albums that my band has written, and I was like, this does not work.
Oh no.
This does not work. We cannot put these things together. This, no. But you, with your work, it's absolutely you could make something like that out of it.
Yeah.
Asia, I can't thank you enough for like coming onto the show. This is the second time I tried to get you on the show, and I got you in the second time. So like,
I know. I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize. Don't apologize. You are a busy woman, okay? Asia, if our viewers out there wanted to see more of your work, where could they do that?
Okay. So we're streaming on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music. I think there's stuff on SoundCloud too. YouTube Music, which is a thing. You can find stuff on my Instagram at It's Asia Simone. You can follow me on Twitter, Spoopy Simone. Follow me on TikTok. I don't be posting that much, but maybe if you follow me, I will. TikTok, I think, is also Spoopy Simone. Where else?
We've got it all listed. We've got it all listed.
Yeah, it's a whole list. Like, I'm everywhere.
Yes. And I put your link tree in the details of this video as well. Yes. So that way, anybody who wants to follow you on any and all platforms or stream any of your music, they'll have links right away.
Exactly. There you go.
And folks out there, you want to follow Asia, okay? Asia, thank you so much for coming to the program. It's so good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. Out there in the internet world void, please give it up for singer-songwriter Asia Simone.
Goodbye.
Bye. Wow, some incredible stuff has happened tonight. I'm taken back by how much awesome and mesmerizing stuff I've seen tonight. Let's bring our improvisers on out here. We've got Brandon Burns, we got Matt Thomas, we got Gabi Galloway, and we got Brenan Dwyer. Come on out here. All right, players, we are going to talk a little bit about the work, and now we are going to like sort of deconstruct and do some improv. So we'll talk about what we saw in the work first. I mean, first thing that I saw is just lots of different types of intimate moments, really beautiful intimate moments, whether it was in the theater piece we watched, or Asia's song, or like Bailey as Arnold. Like all of those had like different types of intimacy, but like there was some really intimate stuff tonight. What did you all see?
I was really interested in the idea, especially once we got to Asia's piece and we had the tears. The idea of melodrama just like stuck with me, and the way that like things can be so heightened. And I think we saw a lot of like cool heightened work tonight. But yeah, just that feeling of like heightened sadness and like heightened humor and stuff. So I was just like, I'm still wrestling with that idea.
Amazing. What else did you all see?
I was really struck by the word that came to mind was container, but I think vessel might be a better word. Like there were some literal vessels. I mean, I'm thinking about in Bailey's object fabrication, that there were a couple of objects there that seemed, one was like a wicker glove finger, and I was just like, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, how do people think of this? Like, you know, anyhow, but what I really mean is the artists themselves as the vessel for something that's kind of like flowing through them. And that definitely, you know, in Karissa's work, there's using other artists to facilitate, like speaking Karissa's words. And so I'm an actor, I do this constantly, but it's interesting to bring to the forefront of my mind that it's like ventriloquism. And then when Bailey was doing it with the Arnold, and then when Asia was doing it and there was like a character behind the song, Okay, now I'm really rambling, but I got very excited.
Yes, it's an exciting night. Matt, what did you see?
I feel I kind of picked up a very similar thing that Gabi did. That idea of just kind of like taking something. Most of these had like an emotional core to them, and then they kind of like heightened that. They expanded on it. I blew it a little bit out of proportion so that you can like really feel it. I guess would be the best way to describe it. I love the even from like the little piece at the beginning with one of Chris's the 6 feet apart where they're like it was an exaggerated take on like trying to keep social distancing and stuff like that, but even that just kind of like taking that a little bit of fear and kind of blowing it up, making it bigger, and obviously the with the like the crying makeup during Asia's song, it kind of gave a different tone to it that I wonder if I had never heard the song before and she didn't have that, how it would have resonated with me. Because while the ukulele isn't exactly like a somber experience, like there's like innately is kind of happy, at least to me. I don't know, and so like that it was like a cool juxtaposition there that I wonder how somber it would have felt if she wasn't there with like the tear makeup. And then all of Bailey's stuff was great, and I think maybe not necessarily an emotion, but like taking what they described as Arnold's like masculinity and just like puppeting that, and it almost gives it like an absurdity that you wouldn't have noticed necessarily just watching like a buff dude say it.
Yep, absolutely. Brandon Burns.
It's me. I kind of similar to what Brennan was saying. Like, I had a lot of isolation was the word that kept on coming up for me, and in all three of them, there was a sense of like finding a personal perspective in a moment. And it wasn't until I love whistles in music. I love when someone whistles in a song. And when Asia's whistling, it was so raw in its tone. Like I couldn't describe it, but like there was like a sense of like longing in the whistle that just like took me to each piece in a moment. From Bailey and their absurdist take on like masculinity and the getting yoked, the getting how you get the pump, like that almost like performative nature of the pump, and yeah, pump it. And then like Karissa with the desperation of putting the cello into the case, like I got like put back to all of those moments, and it was like a very almost like touching and shoving moment of like really seeing and feeling the like isolated feeling of pain in all three of those kind of cohesive elements.
Let's see. Pain makes me think of sorrow.
Sorrow, a funeral.
A funeral, an obligation.
Obligation, being a child.
Child growing up.
Growing up, failing and learning.
Failing and learning makes me think of performing.
Performing makes me think of audiences.
Audiences makes me think of old people.
Old people sneezing.
Sneezing, sick.
Sick dog? Like sick as a dog?
When I've always had a dog growing up. It's kind of weird now that I live in an apartment and I can't have a dog. This is like the longest period of time in my life that I have not had a dog. And I feel like a lot of like my dogs have never lived as long as I feel like they should have. I always feel like, my parents' house is always like a great home. There's just always kind of like these random things that have happened. And I think just hearing the words "sick dog" just kind of made me think of we had a lab chow mix, Maddie, and she is kind of still to this day probably just like the most sweetheart of a dog that I've ever had. Just like very like I don't know how to put it, but just so like very like I always picture her as being kind and like gentle. And she when she was getting older, she basically just I don't know if she had bad arthritis or whatnot, but she didn't like to move very much. And unfortunately, that kind of led to her becoming incontinent. Like she wouldn't get up to go pee; she would just go. And I remember vividly when me and my dad had to go give her a bath, and as we were like washing her with the hose on kind of like a higher power, we could see like maggots coming out of her fur. And it's just kind of like one of those kind of horrific images that stay with me. And we tried our best, like did like baby powder and stuff like that to try to keep it, but eventually it was just one of those things where like she wasn't really moving around. She was getting these flies coming around and laying eggs and stuff, and we ended up having to put her down. But it's just kind of one of those things that always sticks with me, and not a very pleasant experience or a happy one, that's for sure.
It is not that big of a deal.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal, okay?
We can proceed as normal.
What? Life is thrown into chaos right now.
I understand.
I don't, do you see what's going on?
I can see it, but I choose not to respond.
Okay, all right. So yeah, let's just ignore everything.
That's right.
Ignore life.
I'm just going to shut down internally.
Does that work?
It's working.
Okay, I like partway believe you.
If you'll notice how still I'm able to keep my body, it's almost like the tornado outside isn't happening.
Okay, all right. Let me give this a shot. Okay, so just
as
still as possible.
As still as possible.
This is good.
Yeah, and eventually, if we stay like this, you just turn to stone.
Like a gargoyle?
Yeah, I've done it once before.
You've been a gargoyle?
Yeah.
How long are you a gargoyle for?
At least 12 years.
What?
Yeah, so it's a full shutdown on 36 and 12. We got a possible closure on 2 and 9. And Richard on accounting said nope on 49.
Okay. Do we have one on 262?
I can double check the infograph. You said 262?
262.
That's a possible foreclosure with an optimal reactor time.
Okay. Seems like we're having a lot of foreclosures recently.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. We're not doing so hot. We're looking at possibly being in the red for upwards of a decade and a half.
Okay.
There is a core meltdown on 424.
That's not looking good for us.
Yeah, I didn't have that on my sheet.
Huh. Maybe we ought to, cut you.
No, okay. I don't think that we just gonna cut me. I'm an integral part of this here company.
Of the company? I don't know. You didn't know. And we need that kind of information.
I mean, I could get another sheet.
You're gonna need a lot of sheets.
I mean, look how many. I got 2 already. I could get 3.
You're making very good points here.
Okay, I got a quick update for us. Everything is gone.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm talking like 1 through 9, 12, 2. It's a full explosion.
Oh, that's not looking good for us.
No, it's a possible end of days situation more so than like a company closure.
Right.
And I didn't have that on my sheet.
So I'm gonna have to say you're fired then.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's been a pleasure.
You're gonna have to kill me.
I know, but it's such a responsibility. It's such a weight to bear.
Look, I killed my father. He killed his father.
How did you do it?
Like a man.
I mean, literally, like, was it scissors or like a gun or?
No, like a man with my hands.
Well, what would you suggest for a female identifying person?
I don't know. I never expected to only have a daughter. And all I've learned is lessons on how to be a man. All right?
Okay, I guess I could be a man.
No. I mean, there's a common phrase that poison is a woman's weapon.
Oh, okay. Poison. Okay. I could do that. That seems like it would be maybe painless and quick. Right?
Sure. Yeah, I'm not painless and quick though are my problems. You don't need to worry about me. This is about you. It's about
Okay.
you becoming the person you were meant to be.
Yeah, which I can only do when I've killed my father. I know. Just like they say in the old book. Okay.
Yep.
So I guess the first thing first is I have to prepare the sacrificial table. And
I don't know. I don't know 100% how to deal with this, right? You're very sad, and that's kind of an emotional thing because again, like at least 3 generations of being a man, like 100% man. You know, I have no idea how to deal with this kind of emotional thing.
I've never seen you express an emotion.
Yeah, that was whooped out of me by the time I was 8. You know.
Yeah. And I just want to say I'm really grateful that you never whooped anything out of me. Like, I just really appreciate that. I think you've been a really good dad.
Yeah. I think it helps that I had no precedent for dealing with a daughter. I'm from a long line of only sons.
Yeah.
So I think there was a lot less baggage here.
Yeah, it probably helped that mom wasn't around too. You know, she might have done something to mess me up.
Right. Yes. But you know, I was not a good, again, very manly point of view here. I was not a good romantic partner. I did not tend to her needs. It was only mine. So she left.
Right. I think that's why she left.
No, that's 100% why she left. She made that very clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boo! Boo!
Okay, I could change up the tempo.
Sing Frank Sinatra.
All right. Fly me to the moon.
No!
Let me play among the stars.
You don't sound like him.
Ma'am, I'm not him. I'm not an impersonator.
I know, but you come to the theater and you expect a good performance, and then this guy comes up singing like the Justin Biebers and not the Frank Sinatras.
You bought a ticket for a pop concert. What did you expect?
And I'm the only one here, so why don't you tend to your audience?
I can't change who I am as an artist for one person. I'm sorry.
Do you want money or not, sweetheart?
Honestly, I don't want yours. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want yours.
Then how will you make money as an artist?
I might not make it now.
Richard, we actually just got we just got word we desperately need this lady's money.
Yeah.
So like roll with it, okay?
What? All right. What song would you like me to sing, ma'am?
Oh, goodness. Oh, I wasn't expecting this question. Oh, it goes do da do da da do dee da do dee da da do 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 da do.
All right.
Or maybe a nice dance.
I'll do a little bit of both. How about that?
Yay! Frankie Sinatra.
Do dee da da do dee da da do dee da da do.
Why aren't you a
Love
charming
is
young
in
man?
the air and everyone's dancing for the fair.
I hear they do this in the
Dead inside and I want to die.
I just think it's better this way with some space.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear that. I don't like it, but I hear it.
Yeah, no, I don't expect you to like it. It's obviously hard to hear. We've been together for a while, so but I'm not saying it's over, you know, I'm just saying I need some my just my emotions inside are boiling over, but I think it's important to stay cool, calm, and collected.
I will say that I am starting to feel a bit upset on the inside, you know, I'm trying not to like put it out there, you know, but
Yeah. But I think that's what's maybe been the issue in our relationship so far, is like what's on the inside hasn't come to the surface. We haven't really expressed how we feel.
Okay. All right. Then let's just say statements about how we feel. Okay.
And they have to be true. Otherwise, our insides will explode.
Yes. Okay, I will start. I think this decision moving forward is, you know, could be good for both of us.
I agree. And I truly would like to say that I bear no ill will against you, nor do I feel hurt or pain in this moment.
Okay. All right.
And I feel like this is the adult, responsible way to end things.
I think so too. And I'm sure that, like, as we, you know, go our separate ways, that things will be very, very amicable.
I think we'll be friends. You know, I do think that you're going to get a call from me and we're going to have coffee, and it's just not going to be an issue at all.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see us like totally hanging out as friends later.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
with no tension.
So this got me thinking kind of about the movie Inside Out. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's this great little Disney film where the you have the minds of the people, and then inside they have all the emotions going through them. Brandon says, I love student films. It's a quaint little feature if you ever get a chance to watch it. But it came out around the time, I want to say, of my 17th birthday. I'm a youngin', but and so my friend, her name was Riley, and the character's name was Riley, and so she was like, I already have this like connection with this movie, like this is my movie. And it came out like her birthday weekend, so she watched it and I never saw it. I was just kind of like, doesn't seem like my thing, whatever. But finally, like half a year rolls around and it's my birthday, and so we go out to eat with two of my other closest friends, and they're being pretty jerky and like not talking to me, even though I was like, I invited you out for my birthday. And so I ended up going and was like, never mind, we're gonna go home, just me and Riley, and we're gonna hang out, we're gonna ditch these people, like they're not being nice. So I was like, you guys can go home. So we went back to my place and we put on the movie that Riley suggested for my birthday. She said, you're gonna love it. It's Inside Out. And I was already having a bad night because I had to ditch my other two friends. We turn it on, and I have never been sadder in my entire life. It was such a sad movie. I cried so hard. I was like bawling. I was like, why would she show this to me on my birthday? I'm already not having a good day. And then I just cried and cried and cried. And like, you know, it's supposed to be something that's like, oh, it feels good to release these emotions. It's Disney. Of course you're going to cry. But to me, it was not. So I had this like harbored hate against Inside Out. I know it's great. Go Disney, go corporations, take over the world. But at the same time, it was not ideal for that day.
Bro, spot me, bro, spot me.
Yo, bro, we got you, dude. We got you.
All right.
That's one, dude. That's one.
This is bringing up a lot of emotions for me, you know?
Hey, dude, it's okay to cry.
I mean, I'm not like gonna cry, just like feel this like, this like crippling like sadness, like from 8th grade, you know? Like it's been like bugging me for a long time, but I feel like I'm finally like working things out, you know?
Yeah, dude.
That's what lifting's all about.
Ooh, that was good. I feel like just like work some stuff out. Jeremy, you got to get on this.
It's all me, dude. All right, let's do this.
I'll spot you.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you, bro. You know, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw my dad for the first time yesterday after like 5 years.
Oh, shit. How'd that make you feel?
I mean, I really thought at first I was gonna like feel like support and like joy. But like by the end, I felt like a sense of loneliness. Like somehow seeing him made me feel like I had lost him again, you know? Like he wasn't the same guy that I knew when he left. He was like more broken, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and I felt that.
5 years is a long time to have no connection, you know?
Yeah. I just thought that.
But you know who needs a connection to gains? You do, Cliff. So get on those games, brother.
Get on the bar, dude. Get on that bar, dude.
I got you.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I realized that a big issue for me is when people don't listen to what I have to say. I realized that a lot of people just kind of go along with it. They give lip service because, you know, like I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
But they don't actually listen to what I'm saying and they don't respond to it.
what is even like, what is listening? Isn't it just like being a human? Isn't that just, it's just speech, right? That's 3.
You got one. You got one more, man. You got it, all right?
I got one more. Yeah, it's like, ugh, you don't do all this work, you know, and then have no one even care about what you have to say, you know, like I'm not important. Ugh. Like I'm nothing more than muscles, man.
Hey, bro, just like how you work on your muscles, like you work on yourself. Like your voice is valid, just like your gains are valid. Like every rep is a rep not only for your muscles and for yourself, but it's for your continued process, you know?
That's why I love coming here.
Hell yeah. You guys want some raw matcha powder?
That's the only thing I need after a lift, bro.
Hi, class. So, today I want to introduce you to my special friend that I made over quarantine. And I see you have your special friend too.
I got mine.
Yeah, and so this was really helpful for me, this homework exercise, to really bond with someone, to bond with someone when you don't have anyone.
What are we doing with it?
You're just making friends. You can eat dinner with them. You can talk to them. You can tell them about your day. Oh, honey, Michelle.
My friend tastes good.
Your friend was just on your foot, honey. Okay. And I know we're lonely. We're lonely, but we can't have that in the classroom. Michelle, I'm gonna have to call your mom.
Oh, my mom's the one who told me about it.
Okay, I think this warrants even more of a conversation with your mother now.
There's nothing wrong with having just like a friendly friend who's friends with you.
Yeah, friendly friends who shake hands and play games and tell each other about each other's day and all their insecurities. But your friend can't be all over your face. I don't think that's really healthy.
It feels real good.
Yeah, maybe a nice massage. Friends can work out each other's kinks and whatnot. But
yeah, my friend is working out my kinks.
That's awesome. And maybe you just tell your friend, hey friend, I've been sad lately. Let's try that.
Hey friend, I've been sad.
Seems like your friend is muffling that sadness. That's what I'm seeing.
I've been sad.
So what? You just want back in? You just think you can just walk back in? I can't even hear you.
Like I never left.
That's not how this works.
Yeah. Look, I stormed out. I can storm back in.
No. I'm not letting you do that again. At all.
Why not? I mean, you let me storm out. I just left. You know, I was mad and I left.
You left and then started over? You think that you can just come back to this home? This is not your home anymore.
Well, I mean, like, you're still here, you know?
Yeah, I am. Because I stayed. I raised them, and you left.
Well, you know, and I appreciate that. You know, from what I've spoken to the children, they seem great. Seem like they came out great. So
yeah, Greg, they did. They did.
Cool. Well, you know, maybe it's, you know, time for you to take a break, you know? I'm back now, so I'm going to take care of a lot of stuff, you know? So,
What are you going to take care of? You're going to take care of the 16-year-old or the 15-year-old? Which one would you like?
I mean, I went to culinary classes. I took some culinary classes, so, you know, like maybe I can make some food around here, you know? I can make sauce. I've made a lot of good sauces.
That's cool. You'll make a meal or two. Are you going to drive them to school? Are you going to help them with their class? Are you going to pay the rent with your culinary school classes?
Well, I can drive. Just if I can borrow your car, I'll just I can drive them. Yeah, for sure. I just don't have any money.
No, of course you don't, because you spent it all in culinary classes. So here's where I'm at a loss, Greg. Here's where I'm at a loss. You think that this family needs you, a penniless, washed up man who left us and did what? Did what with his life? Did he start a new family? Did you talk to your old one?
These are all harsh but fair assessments of me personally. But the good news is, meal planning is hard. It's a hard thing to do, and when you're juggling raising kids and all that stuff, like you're like, oh, I also have to get dinner, and so a lot of times you're like, oh, maybe I'll just pick something up on the way home, and that's unhealthy, and so I'm like a light bulb bing, goes off in my head, and I'm like, oh, I can cook, and so I will bring my service to the family. I will pay it back through what I have learned. I've gone out into the world on like a vision quest, and I've come back with culinary arts.
That's awesome. I'm glad that vision quest turned on your light bulb after 6 years. That's awesome. I'm so happy. But I've made the meals for 6 years. I've made them healthy. I've made 2 amazing kids without your culinary skills, without your input, without your presence. So in what world do you think I need your help now?
Imagine a steak, and it's cooked to perfection, just the way you like it. And that's great. You can just eat that. When it's a really good, high quality beef, cooked to perfection, you don't even need any type of sauce. But then you get a little bit of that authentic homemade steak sauce. Just just a little bit, right? Not the sugary stuff they sell in bottles, not that crap, just a little bit. And you add that little spice, and think of how good that tastes. That's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be that little puddle of steak sauce. I'm going to make that great thing that you've done. I'm going to make it unforgettable. That's what I'm bringing here to the table. 3 square a day.
Yeah. You're a steak sauce. Sure. You know what I think? I think you're a brown gravy. I think you're a sad, dusty packet of brown gravy that thinks it's going to help a very well-established meal. I think that whatever you touch is going to make it bitter and tart and wish it could go back to the way it was. You are a 99-cent store, crappy bag of shit gravy, Greg.
Well, as much as I don't like hearing those words, I've got to say the food analogy is great. You nailed it.
Scene. And that is going to be our show for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Bindle Variety Show, featuring art, music, and improv. Let's welcome our guests back if they're still in the... Yes, they are. They are. 2 of them are. Thank you so much, Bailey. Thank you so much, Karissa. Thank you so much, Asia, for joining us this evening in tonight's show. It was a really, it was a pleasure to have all of our guests tonight. Such an awesome show. And I'm so happy to be able to have hosted it. Again, we just want to remind you out there watching, if you want to follow up and find more work by any of our artists, that is linked below in the YouTube video. please go check out all of these artists. And if you want to see more of Fancy Hobo, we air shows every Friday and Saturday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time. We've got a really great month in store for you next month. Every Friday night, it's Hazards and Hijinks, our live action role-playing Dungeons and Dragons improv show. And on Saturday nights, we have a rotating show out for you, starting with next Saturday, the Fancy Hobo Improv Show, our flagship short-form improv show. That's always a lot of fun. Next month, we've also got Ladies Night on the horizon. Very exciting. All of our female identifying players in that. We've got the Genre Show, which we're doing a teen drama coming of age story for you. So be sure and check that out. And we'll have another bindle for you on the last Saturday of next month. So be sure and check out all of those shows. Don't forget to follow Fancy Hobo on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, all of the things. Thank you so much for tuning in and making it all the way to the end of the show. Thank you to all of our guests and all of our improvisers for performing. So for Karissa, Bailey, Gabi, Brenan, Matt, Brandon, and Asia, I am Tony Torrico. Until next time, Fancy Hobo signing off. Good night, everybody. Oh, and Cliff. We forgot Cliff.
How dare you? How dare you forget Cliff?
We have to thank Cliff.
I can't believe
he was the backbone of our show.
He was the clinch hitter.
That's the one. You nailed it.
The pinch hitter?
Pinch hitter.
Clinch hitter.
I know things about sports.
I know you do. Clinch the division with a single hit.
Yeah, we know the mics are on. That's what
I know that. But,
okay.
but maybe other people don't.
Oh, okay.
Clifton.
Cliff doesn't know.
Well, you just never know when Cliff's going to show up.
What an awesome show, y'all.
That was a great show.
Those sock puppets.
I can't believe that happened.
That was so, like, Gabi came on with the sock puppet, and I literally was like,
did she see me and pull it on that fast? But I was like, no.
We just knew.
So funny.
We knew that
For
what.
sure, you messaged each other.
Nope.
I totally thought they private messaged you too. I was like, they had to have.
The only thing this show needed was sock puppets. So.
Magic.
Girl power.
Karissa, Bailey, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Rock stars.
Work.
Absolute
This is great.
rock star.
Thank you.
Karissa, thanks for staying up with us. I know it's late.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,